From 1996 to 2002, Resident Evil was defined by three game mechanics that pioneered the survival horror genre. The first mechanic was the use of fixed camera angles. In other words, the camera did not move and the player had no control over it. This gave early Resident Evil games a cinematic quality to them and often allowed developers to hide enemies just out of the player's view. The second defining mechanic was the save system. In order to save the game, you needed to have an ink ribbon in your inventory. If you have an ink ribbon and find yourself near a typewriter, then you can save. If not, tough luck. There were no hidden checkpoints or any autosave functions, so if you died, you were sent back all the way to your last save. Last, but certainly not least, the third mechanic was the clever use of showing doors opening to hide loading screens. It helped immerse players into the gloomy atmosphere of the areas they would explore, and was an incredibly charming idea for the time. The last time that we saw an RE game built with these game mechanics was with Resident Evil 0. Released on the Gamecube, Resident Evil 0 tells the narrative of the events preceding the Spencer Mansion incident in RE1. In other words, this is the first game chronologically in the RE timeline. It was also one of 3 Resident Evil games that were developed for the Gamecube, and is the only one not unanimously praised by fans. In fact, this game is rather divisive. But why is that?
I don't know.
Well, I recently did the rounds with RE0 in order to answer that question, and here's what I found out.
Resident Evil 0.
RE0 opens with the STARS Bravo team investigating a series of cannibalistic murders in the mountains. While patrolling the area, the team comes across a broken down train. We come to learn that this is the Ecliptic Express, an Umbrella Corporation owned train. Fairly quickly, everybody on Bravo team is attacked and killed aside from the rookie medic, Rebecca Chambers. The situation becomes so grim that she has no choice but to partner up with Billy Cohen, an escaped criminal that was being escorted to his death by an MP vehicle nearby. Now in this game, you get to control both Rebecca and Billy as you fight to survive and figure out what is going on. This is, I believe, the most unique aspect of the game, and has never since been replicated in any other mainline RE game. Both characters have unique properties. Billy carries a lighter with him, has more HP, runs faster, can move heavy objects, and plays the piano like an angel. Rebecca can combine herbs to make them more powerful, fit into small spaces, and sadly sucks dick at piano. Rebecca and Billy both have their own inventory, so you'll have to constantly decide who carries what. I usually make Billy carry around all the weapons while Rebecca stays behind with a bunch of health items. All of this adds an extra level to managing your inventory, which is a welcomed addition to the core gameplay loop of RE. Unfortunately though, the inventory system overall in this game is just a tad bit broken. The item box found in earlier games is now long gone, meaning you can now drop items anywhere in the game and return to that area later to pick it up. Now on paper, this sounds great. It takes away the hassle of running back to an item box to change up your inventory, and is much more realistic. In practice though, it's hell. It is very possible to unknowingly drop a key item randomly on the map, making you run around confused for a hot minute on what the hell you're supposed to do. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so the 18-year-old anime medic girl and the criminal hunk are doing their thing, killing zombies, and then a big-ass scorpion shows up. After you kill the big-ass scorpion, an Umbrella task force boards the train. Under the command of Wesker, they set a course for the train to be brought back to destroy the remaining infected. Just like Bravo Team, the Umbrella task force survives all of but 30 seconds before meeting their demise. They are attacked by a group of leeches, controlled by this clown. Without the Umbrella task force driving the train, it begins to pick up some speed. Billy and Rebecca do manage to pump the brakes and slow the train down, but it couldn't keep it from crashing into an underground train station. The two escape the derelict train and discover they are right underneath a training facility for new Umbrella employees. Also, I have to note here, this is about the time in the game where the loading screens got really annoying for me. Getting lost in the training facility while doing all these puzzles or taking the wrong turn is made really tedious when you have to watch a million different doors open. And to tie this back to the shitty inventory system, having to track down a misplaced item is made all the more shitty because of these loading screens. Now I'll admit on playthroughs after this one, this wasn't that bad of an issue, but that's also because I knew exactly where to go. Luckily though, I did play this game on my PC, so the loading screens did not take that long. My good friend Cameron though played this game on his Switch, however, and the loading screens were not so merciful on his end. I like how it shows the loading screen.
Oh, that one was pretty fast, actually.
Find maybe a bigger door to a crazier area, I guess.
Yeah, that was a small area. I don't know, this is back back into that main area.
Holy shit!
I know!
Oh my god, dude. That would be infuriating.
Every fucking door.
During the duo's exploration of the facility, they discover that it is being used to develop biological weapons pioneered by Umbrella co-founder Dr. James Marcus. Somewhere close by, Wesker and Birkin are watching us on a feed when the mysterious man from earlier cuts them off. And just in case you needed a quick lore refresher, Birkin was this dude from Resident Evil 2.
You gotta be kidding me.
The mysterious man tells them that he was the one who contaminated the train, and accuses them of betraying Dr. Marcus. Meanwhile, while Rebecca and Billy are exploring the facility, they come to discover an underground torture chamber. Turns out Dr. Marcus was using children as test subjects down here to create zombies. Also, there are monkeys down here, so this is the best game ever. I do have to commend this game on its variety of enemies. There's the spectacular monkey enemies, bug things, spiders, leeches, humanoid leech things, hunters, dogs, crows, and frogs, just to name a few. It makes each combat encounter feel really fresh, and also just combat in this game is really fun, so no complaints there. And if you wanted to learn more about these enemies, get some lore from not only the wiki, but from game guides and other such things, Cameron will be posting a video on the channel regarding that here pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, some more stuff happens in the basement, then Billy finally reveals his backstory to us. We learn that during his time in the Marines, his CO ordered his squad to open fire on local villagers. Refusing to take part, Billy was scapegoated for the whole incident and was found guilty on 23 accounts of the murder. Elsewhere, Wesker and Birkin are scheming up some sinister plots. Birkin decides to blow up the training facility because, you know, it wouldn't be RE without a big-ass explosion at the end. And Wesker goes off to gather combat data on the T-Virus by exposing it to two of his most talented fighters, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. Rebecca and Billy press on from the basement and find themselves at a dilapidated church. This is where you fight the giant bat boss. Fuck the giant bat boss. On my initial run, I had little to no ammo, no health items, and was on the verge of death with both Rebecca and Billy. Now in the boss fight, the giant bat will fly around in the church and will occasionally swoop down at you to either grab you or attack you. It's pretty easy to avoid these attacks, until a horde of bats come in to join in on the fight. These little bat bastards, oh my god, they are the worst. It's nearly impossible not to get hit by these guys. And they stagger your character when they hit you, so good luck trying to aim at the big ass bat flying around the corridor. This was easily the hardest part of the game for me. The next area we find ourselves in is the Umbrella chemical plant. Rebecca and Billy get separated, and while searching for Billy, Rebecca runs into Enrico, the leader of her STARS team, and what also might be one of the funniest cutscenes I have ever watched.
You're alive.
Are you okay, Rebecca?
Where is everybody?
They should have arrived here before me. Haven't you seen them? That's unfortunate. If we go straight from here, we should arrive at an old mansion which Umbrella uses for research. Come on, let's go.
Wait! I've got to find Billy.
Billy Cohen? You mean you found that criminal?
Yes, but we got separated and...
No point worrying about him. He won't make it. Come on, let's go.
Sir, please. I need to find him. Don't worry, I'll catch up with you.
Rebecca... All right. Just be careful.
I never saw him again.
Rebecca then runs into the prototype tyrant, which is just dope as fuck. I mean, look how nasty this guy looks. He is awesome. After defeating the prototype tyrant, Rebecca rejoins Billy at the water treatment plant. This area has these frog enemies that can grab you with their tongue and insta-kill you. That happened to me a couple times after spending about 20 minutes solving puzzles without saving, so that was fun. After doing their thing at the water treatment plant, Rebecca and Billy finally encounter the mysterious man. He reveals himself as the Queen Leech, a mutant test subject created by Marcus in '88 that took over his body and has his memories. This test subject, or rather a fat slimy leech, was able to take over Marcus's body after he was betrayed and murdered by Dr. Spencer, the head of Umbrella. And so begins the final boss battle. Well, at least the first part of it. It's a fun little battle, no complaints here. The second part of it isn't all that much fun though, I do have to say. The Queen Leech turns into a giga super big fat slimy leech, and you have to run around shooting it while Rebecca opens up the ceiling to allow light into the building. Because the Queen Leech is also a vampire or something, I don't know, fucking know. After defeating the Queen Leech, Rebecca and Billy just barely escape before the whole facility blows up. Billy gives Rebecca a thumbs up, and Rebecca makes her way over to a mansion off in the distance. So yeah, that's RE0. Overall, it's a really enjoyable experience. I think the part I found the most impressive while playing through the game was its presentation. For a game that came out nearly 2 decades ago, it has held up incredibly well. The RE team was definitely at the top of their game using fixed camera angles to display pre-rendered backgrounds. The models in the game look great too. I love Billy and Rebecca's design, and how many subtle animations are in play to give life to these characters. RE0 still has that iconic charm that the other titles have. In true RE fashion, the cutscenes are incredibly corny and hilarious. Everyone that pops up on screen is a treat. I actually found myself laughing out loud at a lot of them. But with Resident Evil, it's weird, you know? Like, you can laugh at the ridiculous exchanges between characters and the random one-liners, but the overall story is still effectively spooky and generally badass. They are rather good at walking that fine line between cheese and horror. Another real charismatic thing the game has going for are all the small snippets of text that appear when loading into your saved file. There are a total of 6 of them, and they are all attached to certain areas of the game. If you load into the train area, the screen will read, "The door to safety is shut. There is no turning back." Spooky. On newer versions of the game, aka pretty much everything aside from the Gamecube release, you can play as Wesker after beating the game. Wesker has special abilities such as a shadow dash and the death stare. It's a fun little distraction, and you unlock a dope-ass costume for Rebecca if you beat it. There's also a leech hunter mode, where you run around killing enemies and trying to find leech charms for a high score. I don't really care for that mode, to be quite honest. Uncharacteristically of Resident Evil, this is the only post-game content available, but I don't believe that makes this game a lesser package. The campaign is lengthy and really fun, and if you feel inclined to do so, you can get even more out of the game with speedrunning. The greatest downfall to this game has to be its insistence on sticking to the classic RE formula. Just like the 5 games that came before it, in RE0 you explore a large, mansion-like building. You run around, solve puzzles, and slowly uncover that there is something shady going on. After defeating a big baddie, everything explodes and you make it out of there just in the nick of time. All games have fixed camera angles, all games have the same save mechanic, and all games have the same loading screens. While everything is incredibly well designed, RE0 is just a lot of the same. Back in 2002, I can understand why people were not too thrilled about this game. I mean, to put it into perspective, the R remake came out just a couple months before RE0. Sometimes you gotta mix up the formula. And hey, wouldn't you know it? The moment they did, they created one of the most beloved games of all time. In conclusion, RE0 is the best game ever made because it has monkey zombies.